Danny, a 5-0 win. What were your thoughts on the game, first of all?
Thought first 5-10 minutes, I think everyone was a little bit nervy. You know, I think to be fair to the players, they've really, the young lads that they are, they've kept their heads in this sort of environment. Even though there's obviously not 4,000 or 5,000 people here, it's still a stadium, which a lot of them ain't used to playing in. And probably out the sort of 3 youth cup games, it's the most nervous I've seen him. First 10 minutes, which is expected. And Teddy had to make a good tackle, Arthur made a good save, and then I keep banging on to the boys' importance about the first goal, and early you get it, the better in these games. And when we did get it, I thought it was game over. It's a bit disrespectful, but I thought the lads just come out of their shells relaxed and sort of cruised the rest of the game.
Well, as you said, the first 10 minutes was a bit nervy. I know Biggleswade was decided you didn't know too much about coming into the fixture. Did that make it that much harder?
I think it is a little bit. I mean, even when I was sort of with the first team last year, I sort of tended to try and be more concerned with how we set up and if our boys are up for it. And obviously you're aware, and you make a few calls and find out about strengths and weaknesses, and they weren't a bad side. I thought that, you know, despite the scoreline, probably the best team we've played in terms of the Youth Cup so far. And if they get an early goal, then maybe it's a different story. But I think we showed our professionalism as the game went on, from back to front, and rightly won.
It was nice to see Mason Hall make his first appearance after coming back from a long injury. He done well when he came on as well.
Yes, done well. Mason looks about 40, but he's only 17, I promise you. I told him at half time he might be coming on in front of the back 4, and he weren't too sure. But I think that's quite a good position to bring someone on who's a centre half when it's their first game back for a while. They haven't got to worry too much about what's behind them. They can just get on and get their bearings. And so it was a nice situation to sort of bring him on when the game was virtually done for us. But he's a player, and he's going to be a very good player, as are many of them.
When he came on, it was nice to have 3 centre-backs and virtually 2 wing-backs, so it was good that you kind of emulated what they did in the first team. Yes,
I mean, to be fair, it was more of a 4-1-4-1 with him sort of dropping in when need be. Andrew as a right back is probably more so than Elfie is more up for that sort of wing-back challenge if it was ever called upon. But I thought Elfie as an out-and-out left-back tonight for a young 16-year-old was excellent. I think their right winger was, a few people who've watched Biggleswade have told me he's their best player. A lot of professional clubs are after him, and he got subbed, which is always a good sign for the person who's been marking him.
Charlton FC in the next round, so another side from non-league, and it'll be another side you won't know too much about. So you look forward to that fixture?
Yes, I'll go and see them because my mum and dad live about 5 minutes away, so I'll double that up with a bit of mum's cooking, I think, and then that'll be a tough one. You know, people come here. You know, it's like if we went to, fingers crossed, we went to a team in the 3rd round, Premier League team. Our lads are like, "Wow, look at this! This is an environment. You've got nothing to lose." And they'll have nothing to lose, and the pressure will be on us again, and they won't be mugs. They'll be a good team. They'll have players, I should imagine, who at some point have been at professional clubs, starting on the ladder, just like our boys are. So it's important. I wrote on the board in there just the word professionalism.
But again, it will be a fixture here, and it'll be another good chance for the boys to get into the 3rd round as they did last season.
Yes, definitely. I think it's a much younger group than last year, so for us to get the 3rd round would in a way be a bigger achievement. Especially, you know, people underestimate how tough it is against these so-called smaller teams. You know, Tower Hamlets away was really tough. Hornchurch here for the first half was touch and go, and the first 20 minutes a day it could have gone either way at that point. So it's another fixture here. I said to the boys, it's another game where everyone on the outside will expect us to win and win comfortably. It doesn't work like that. You have to look at the first team games at the weekend. I think Colchester lost a non-league, and Bournemouth beat Blackpool. It happens all the time, and it doesn't change at youth level. If anything, it's tougher to beat them at youth level. So we'll do a little bit of homework on them, but we'll keep making little baby steps with this lot. They're improving. They're buying into what I'm trying to do. They're listening to how me and Pete want them to play and behave and act on the football pitch, and they're getting there.